All right, today is plea deadline date, so are you requesting a jury trial?
Judge, my client has a question about I guess the GPS program that he was approved for at the jail. I tried to explain a few things to him, but I think he needs to maybe hear it from you about what that program entails and how that, I guess, would work. So I guess we're here so he can ask you a few questions. I guess I think it was denied,
Yes.
and I told him that, but
Yeah, it's denied. So here's the thing, I'm not trying to interfere in your relationship with your attorney,
Yes, ma'am.
but usually if your attorney tells you something has been denied, it's been denied.
Yes, ma'am.
So where we are today is your plea deadline date. So either there's going to be an agreement worked out with the state or not. If there's not an agreement worked out with the state, you're going to jury trial. So where are we on that? Do you want a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
All right, so if you all will go back then, he's not requesting a jury trial.
we might change our mind about that, Judge. But I appreciate you explaining the GPS
Sure.
situation, and I'll confer with my client, and then we'll let the court know if
All
we're
right.
going to ask for a jury trial.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2024 CR 6624 State versus Leonardo Bologna. Could I have parties announced for the record? State, defense,
Dirk Ashball for Mr. Bologna.
and are you Mr. Bologna?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with burglary of a building that's a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 11 months in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. There's to be restitution, if any, to Charlie's cheesesteak. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes,
Yes,
Judge.
ma'am.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I just asked that the court follow the plea agreement.
All right, the court then will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 11 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. There's to be no contact and restitution, if any, to Charlie's cheesesteaks. And there's to be no contact with Walmart. All right, we can go off the record. You're gonna have to do better. You understand? Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in and out of prison, in and out of jail. If there's a drug or alcohol issue going on with you, you can come back. If I'm still here, I'll help you find a place that can help you with that. You understand? Good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm ready on that one. Timothy Zapata.
No, stick them in the back.
All right, no, just give me, this is Zapata, right?
Yes.
All right. Attorneys. Who's on the first degree list? Thank you, Robert Maurer. All right, Mrs. Zapata.
That's the lawyer in the courthouse.
So, just one moment. All right, Jenna, Davila. And of course, I will not hold you all to this, but on the surface, does it seem like she'll be a good candidate?
I would say that she is somebody that we would like to evaluate her on.
Okay,
We just spoke with her a little bit. I think we both agree there's a lot kind of going on with her at the moment.
okay,
I would like a little bit more time to kind of dig through and see.
all right.
Can help, what can't help, so on and so forth.
All right, so how much time are you all asking for?
We're looking,
So as a judge, more, like I said, the last time that we were here, we're all booked out for February. We can evaluate her during March, but we won't have an answer for the court until the end of March. That's when we'll be reviewing all our new referrals, next.
All right, so what time in March do you all think you will review her?
It's gonna be, it'll probably be by the 27th, the last Thursday of the month. That's when we're next scheduled to review files.
And when will you have an answer for the court?
That date, Your Honor.
All right. So Norma, on this one, recall it for April. Well, when you say you'll know by the 27th, is that the beginning
Probably
of the morning?
Yeah.
The afternoon?
Uh-huh.
All right, Norma, recall this for March 31st. And that will be for an update on VTC.
March 31st.
Yes. All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you guys for coming down.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you, Judge.
All right. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 0245. State versus Joe Angel Gutierrez. Excuse me. All right, we're on the record. Joe Angel Gutierrez, could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Orlando away for the defense.
All right, and are you Joe Angel Gutierrez? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Joe Angel Gutierrez who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 0245 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on April 15th, 2021 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, the same, but rehabilitated.
All right.
I didn't hear,
All right, that's
I don't
okay.
remember right now.
So here's the thing. The state has read the allegation. State, if you could read the allegation again, please.
Violation of condition number 2 on or about the 6th day of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Joe Angel Gutierrez, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the supervision officer in violation of condition number 2.
All right, and I'm sorry, what page is that on of the motion?
Judge, the one I have is only one.
Page 5, Judge.
Let me see. All right, to that, how do you plead? True or not true?
Not true.
All right, state.
Violation of condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Joe Angel Gutierrez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May, August, September, and November of 2023, and January, February, and March of 2024, in violation of condition number 5.
And how do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
State.
Violation of condition number 15U on or about the 22nd day of April 2024. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Joe Angel Gutierrez, did then and there fail to verify attendance and or completion of the parenting classes with compadre y compadre in violation of condition number 15U.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
The state calls
With regards to the other allegations?
violation of condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Joe Angel Gutierrez, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true.
All right, state, you may call your first witness.
The state calls Carrie Brown.
Any objection to the witness appearing by Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Officer Brown, if you could unmute.
Miss Brown, how are you employed?
I work for Bexar County Adult Probation.
Okay, and were you assigned a defendant by the name of Joe Angel Gutierrez?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and when did you become his supervision officer?
April 5th, 2023, his case was transferred to me.
Okay, and once you receive that case file, do you give any instructions to the defendant?
He saw his previous officer and that officer gave him instructions to report to me on, I believe it was May 3rd of 2023, and he failed to do so.
Okay. And then did he report to you for May of 2023?
He did not.
Did he report to you for August of 2023?
He did not.
Did he report to you for September of 2023?
No, he didn't.
And did he report to you for November of 2023?
No, he didn't.
And are you currently still his supervision officer?
I am.
Okay. Did he report to you in January of 2024?
No, he didn't.
What about February of 2024?
No,
And what about March of 2024?
he did not.
What about April of 2024?
No,
May 2024?
no, ma'am.
June of 2024?
No,
July of 2024?
no, he didn't.
August of 2024?
No, he did not report in August.
September of 2024?
No, he didn't report.
What about in October of 2024?
No, ma'am, he did not.
November of 2024?
No, I didn't meet him in November.
And what about December of 2024?
No,
Okay, so when is the last time that your department has that the defendant reported?
the last time I saw him, let me double check, was December 13th. I'm sorry, December 6th, 2023.
Okay, and what did you give him instructions to report to you on that day?
Yes,
Okay, and did you give him instructions to report for the next month?
I gave him instructions to report on December 13th, 2023 to meet with Manager Marino and myself.
Okay, and he did not do that,
No.
correct?
He didn't.
Okay, and while you were his supervision officer, did he ever provide to you any verification that he completed or attending any parenting classes that were ordered by the court?
No, he did not.
Okay, and when you met with him on in December of 2023, was he ordered to submit to a drug test on that day?
Yes, he was.
Did he appear and provide that sample?
No, he did not.
Okay. And I guess has the office made attempts to get in contact with him during these periods of time that we've talked about?
Yes.
Can you briefly explain those to the court?
The defendant was ordered 3 field visits a month and the field team went out 3 times a month. They saw him several times. I mailed him letters. I spoke with his wife. I attempted to call him. I sent him text messages. He didn't respond. I
Okay,
take that back. He responded once. And I attempted to call him back and he didn't answer and he didn't have voicemail on his phone and he didn't return my call.
okay. We passed the witness, Your
All
Honor.
right, defense.
Hi, Officer Brown. My name's Leonardo. I have a couple of follow-up questions for you.
Okay.
You were saying that he failed to report in 2023, correct?
Yes, sir.
And as part of those field, you said that he had a previous officer?
Yeah, he had another officer in April of 2023.
And do you know if that officer ever went to do field visits on him?
I can look.
Can you let us know?
I can't tell if she ever did home visits on him or not.
Okay, and just to clarify, you said that you did 3 home visits a month, or you did 3 home visits last year?
No, he was ordered 3 field visits per month.
Okay, and during those field visits, he was always at home, correct?
No, he wasn't always at home. He was home on occasion though.
So for example, on the month of January, when there was a field visit, was he there?
January what?
2024.
I showed that field visit was attempted on January the 9th and he was not there.
What about in February of the same year?
On January the 19th, He was there on February the 2nd. He was not there. So no, he was not there in January.
What about in March?
In March, yep, March 13th, he was there.
What about in April?
No, no attempts were made in April. That's when I submitted the violation report in the MTR.
What about in May?
No,
Oh, so anytime after that, no more attempts were made by the probation department to reach him?
after April, no, sir.
Okay, and it's fair to say that the probation department knew where he lived because you had been out to his address multiple times?
Yes,
Okay. And just going back a little bit, we talked about the classes that he could have completed. It's fair to say that he could still complete those classes, right? They're required to be completed by the end of the probationary period, correct?
they're required to be completed when he's instructed to complete them.
Okay, but it's fair to say that he has until the end of his probation to complete them.
Not sure how to answer that. I'm sorry.
Okay,
He was instructed to complete them and he didn't do it.
got it. So, and he completed SATF, right? Substance abuse
Yes, he
treatment.
did.
Facility. Was that completed successfully?
Yes, it was.
No further questions, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
All right, any further questions?
Just 2 follow-up questions.
Ms. Brown, when a field visit is conducted with a defendant, does that count as him reporting or are they separate duties?
They're separate.
Okay, and so if somebody made a home visit to the defendant, he would still have the responsibility to report to you personally?
Yes, he was reminded during home visits when his next office visit was, and he stated that he understood.
Okay, and can you just briefly explain the process for the field team going out after an MTR violation report is filed?
The field team doesn't conduct visits once the warrant's active.
We pass.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you for zooming in, Officer Brown.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, any other witnesses state?
No.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls Joe Angel Gutierrez this time.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can lower your hand. Deputy Laura, could you move them down to the end? All right, state your name for the record.
Angel Gutierrez.
All right,
Can I
defense.
proceed? Thanks, Judge. So, Mr. Gutierrez, you've heard of the violations that were going on right now. Can you explain to the court why you failed to submit to a drug analysis on December of 2023? Mr. Gutierrez? Can you explain to the court why you failed to submit to a drug test on December of 2023?
Cannot recall the date or the reason, it was a while back, I cannot recall the date. It was, like,
So did you complete the substance abuse treatment facility?
yes,
What did you do in that facility?
um. We focused on being positive, being drug free.
All right, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to speak up so that I can hear. And everyone else, could you please whisper?
Drug addiction is chronic, it's progressive, it can be fatal. Self-talk is good in bad times.
Did you complete any courses while you were in the substance abuse treatment facility?
Courses, as of courses, I submitted into a GED placement test. And I completed my hours of community service.
And did you ever start doing the class of compadre, compadre?
No, I was placed on a waiting list on it.
When did you attempt to get into that course?
After I was seeking my aftercare with my second probation officer, after the first one before Miss Carrie Brown, I believe.
And since that time up to today, did you ever get accepted into the program?
Unfortunately, I was unaware. I did not have a cellular device or phone or, but they told me that the waiting list was going to take quite some time.
Okay. So we've heard that you failed to report for the year of 2024. Why were you not reporting?
I was unhappy with myself.
Why were you unhappy with yourself?
I lost a lot of time. I lost what I thought was my support system. I lost my wife for 10 years. I
And just to clarify, what do you mean by you lost your wife of 15 years?
she was my support system. She was my everything. She was my
To clarify, is she deceased or did she leave you? Okay.
when I was inside. I was unaware,
And
but I had children.
are you aware that probation is here to be a support system for you?
As the probation and visa support system, it didn't really feel like a support system. It felt like I was, the way I was felt like if I was not going to succeed and I doubted myself. I really doubted myself. And I should have carried myself higher from that. I should have, for my children, for my mother, for my father.
How many kids do you have?
I have I have six.
Who- Who supports those kids?
My ex-wife supports five of them, and the oldest one I have yet to meet. I have a 16-year-old daughter I have not met. But she has an adopted family, and I was unaware that I was in the neighborhood where she was living. I was aware
What is it that you're asking this court to do for you today?
to judge me by my past, not to judge me by my past. I have a lot of overseers, a lot of teachers, a lot of love that I get to share with the world.
Are you asking this court to put you back on probation?
If that would be a consideration, yes, and I feel right with it. I feel right with it.
No further questions. Pass the witness.
Any questions?
Mr. Gutierrez, so you said that you can't recall why you failed to submit to your drug testing, is that correct?
At the time, I cannot recall at the time.
Okay, so but you did not submit and provide a drug sample, correct?
For Miss Carrie Brown, I did not, but before the first two probation officers, I did.
Okay. And you said that you did reach out regarding the parenting class and you were put on a wait list, is that correct?
Yes,
But you don't have a cell phone?
I unfortunately was after some time forced to move out.
Did you ever provide any documentation to Ms. Brown or any of your other officers regarding that you had been placed on the wait list regarding the class?
To my previous, before the two previous probation officers, yes.
Okay, so how long were you on the wait list for this class?
They did not give me a time. They did not give me a designated time. They just said I was on a waiting list for quite some time.
And if you didn't have a cell phone, I guess did you ever go and check to see if you had been accepted by them?
I did, and they said that I would not be able to. I would not be able to come in. I'd have to call. I keep calling, and by then my support system had forced me to
Okay.
be homeless.
And even though, you said that you learned a lot of things at status, you were arrested for possession of a controlled substance in January of 2025, correct?
No, ma'am.
You weren't?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so why are you here before the court today?
I was being a productive member of society and cleaning up my neighborhood. And if y'all were to judge me on that, then I would like to say I'm sorry to the court. I'm sorry to my family for not disposing it or discarding it the proper way, but like everywhere else in the world, it could be dangerous in many places. And for
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt you. So you're only before the court because you were placed under arrest, correct? And taken to the Bear County Jail and booked on an offense.
I surrendered myself with Officer Ortiz, and I was not, I was being a productive member of society, and I was cleaning up my neighborhood. And that's it.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. The court is finding violations 2, 5, 15U, and 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Watch his head coming up.
The state is asking for 12 years in TDCJ. This defendant has absconded from the jurisdiction of his court in 2023. And regardless of his testimony, the only reason that he's here before the court is because he was placed under arrest on a different offense. He never voluntarily surrendered himself, and he never made any efforts to report to probation or comply with any terms of the probation after he was released from status. And so for those reasons, we're asking for 12 years.
All right, in defense, what are you
Your Honor,
requesting?
we are asking that this court consider
All right,
replacement.
just a moment. Please stop shaking your head. I'm trying to hear the argument. So here's the thing. You've had your chance to give your testimony. You've given it. I've heard testimony from the probation officer. So right now, it's in my hands to make a decision on whether or not to sentence you, to revoke you, or sentence you to prison, anywhere from 2 to 20 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize.
All right. So,
Your
yeah.
Honor, we are asking this court to consider extending his deferred adjudication or putting him on probation. I want to point out to the fact that he has completed the SATF program. He completed it successfully. He is a victim of circumstance. He doesn't have the support system that a lot of us in this room are very fortunate to have. He stated to the court that when he was in the SATF doing what the court ordered him to do and completed successfully, he gets out. His wife of 15 years decided to leave him. And for a lot of people, that can be very traumatic. It can be very difficult on someone to try and get away from that. So it led him into making poor decisions. I mean, we're going to admit to that. We're not here denying that. He failed to submit to his drug testing. And through that, I mean, we heard that he became homelessness. He is indigent. I am court appointed to him. He didn't have the means to come and maybe check in. And even though it's his responsibility to show up to court, because the court and his probation officers have probably told him numerous times, he was at his house for a period until, like he said, he gets kicked out. So for the foregoing reasons, Your Honor, we're asking for this court to consider mercy or leniency, put him back on probation or extend his deferred adjudication, and if anything, give him a lesser sentence if the court was to summon the TDCJ.
All right, and if you will go with him, the trial court certification? In my understanding, this is not his first motion to revoke, is that correct? Mr. Gutierrez, I want you to know that I've listened to your counsel's argument. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty. The court will revoke. The court will request therapeutic community. The court will give him credit for any time served, for inpatient treatment that was successfully completed, and the court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, I understand. We can go off the record. I understand that there are issues that happen in people's lives, right? But in this court, what I can tell you, your defense counsel will tell you this. I always say, if there's an issue, something going on in your life, let the court know, and we'll see if we can solve the problem. But if you don't come forward and let me know, then there is nothing I can do for you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Here.
Everything out there, sir.
All right, Mr. Maurer,
Yes,
were you able to talk to your new client?
not yet, Judge.
Okay.
I have somebody on the plea bargain deadline docket that I
Yes.
wanted to approach on.
All right, let's approach.
Okay.
Have him come up. And what is your client's name?
Johnny De La Rosa. The file should be up there.
No, it is. I'm trying to find it. Yes. All right, today is plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge, I've conferred with the state. They made a new offer. I extended it to my client. He's going to reject the offer. We're going to request a trial setting,
All right, do you want a bench trial or jury trial?
jury trial.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. State, how long do you expect this to last?
2 days.
All right, 2 days. July 8th, counsel?
That should work.
All right, the jury trial date is going to be July 8th. That's the earliest we can get you in. All right, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to appear. I'm saying, otherwise you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And you'll need to be brought over dressed for trial on July 8th. Counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, just let the court know.
We'll get it taken care of, Judge.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, I was, on my other one, I have a case I'm on in the 290th. It's a 5-year-old case that the guys drove up from Brownsville.
Yes,
That we're gonna be doing a plea on. Can we recall this case for tomorrow morning on Mr.
Yes.
Zapata?
yes,
That way I can have a chance to confer with him.
yes. All right, Norma, on Zapata, if you recall that for tomorrow. All right, who is here on Frank Torres? All right, we'll start with the motion to revoke. Court is calling 2023 CR 7903, State of Texas versus Frank Torres. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Samantha Lynn Brown from the state.
Rolando Ruiz for the defense.
And are you Frank Torres?
ma'am.
All right. Are you the same Frank Torres who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 7903 for the offense of assault, impeding breath or circulation on June 24th, 2024 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes. State is proceeding on violation of condition number 1, that on or about the 7th day of November 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Frank Torres committed the offense of online solicitation of a minor in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
State.
You're
State
pleading true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
stated further alleging that on or about the 5th day of November 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Frank Daniel Torres did then and there fail to attend, comply with all rules, regulations, instructions, and financial agreements as directed by the court and or supervision officer and or head of the authorized personnel of the following counseling education programs, the state accredited battery intervention prevention program in violation of condition number 20.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
And state waives and abandons the violation of condition number 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violations 1 and 20, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 8 years in the prison?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 1 and 20?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violations 1 and 20 true. And the court will take up sentencing on April 14th, 2025. Next, we're moving on to cause number 2025 CR 001135. You're charged by indictment with online solicitation of a minor conduct. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Did you understand, according to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 20 years in the prison. There's a $5,000 fine. State opposes your applications. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 7903. There's to be Chapter 62 compliance, and the state may request additional terms if probation is granted. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, ma'am.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. This will be set for sentencing on April 14th. Do you need a TAP evaluation?
Yes.
All right, this will be,
Well, that's what we can maybe see if he can be evaluated for veteran treatment court as well. I don't know if
Alright.
I don't know if the court does that.
I'll have him evaluate, but my understanding is Veterans Treatment Court will not accept him with this charge.
I believe that from what I was reading, they would not accept that he had like a record of it. But if anything, we can at least try.
All right, we can do a referral to Veterans Treatment Court. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further from the defense.
All right, thank you.
Judge,
Yes.
I'm sorry, on the MTR, I need to correct something on the record.
All right, just give me 1 second. All right, we're back on the record in 2023 CR 7903.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I had read violation of condition number 20 earlier for the violation of not completing VIP. It's actually violation of condition 14G.
All right, to 14G, how do you plea?
Your 2 minutes.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You're welcome.
Yeah, vote, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here on Mr. Smith, Amadeyon Jourdon Smith.
Mhm.
It was contested MTL, but the state and I have come to an agreement. And I have a doctor's appointment at 1 o'clock. I was hoping to get this recalled for tomorrow.
Okay, just give me a second. All right, if you step back, just give me a second, okay? Who's your client?
Mr. Smith, Amadeyon Jourdon Smith, he was set for a contested MTR this morning.
All right, and is he on bond?
No, ma'am, he's in custody.
Have him pull the file and we'll take it up.
We've come to an agreement, but he has to plead on a new case.
Ah,
So with
so have him pull the
paperwork and all
file.
good stuff, I was hoping that if we get a recall for
Oh,
tomorrow.
have them pull the file. Did they pull the file? For his client? All right, yes, you can be excused and I'll take it up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Luis Garcia?
I believe it's also Luis Rivera as well. It's
Yes.
yes, Judge.
All right, where are we on this case?
So in reference to the burglary of building cases, Judge, the discovery does look intact. However, he was recently indicted a couple of weeks ago on a robbery charge. So the defense is respectfully requesting time to delve into that case. It is a much more serious case to make sure there's no discovery issues, Judge. So we'll be requesting one final discovery setting to go over that new robbery case, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a 30-day reset on Luis Garcia, please, for discovery.
March 27th.
That'll work, yes, Judge.
All righty,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome.
Yes.
John Thunert, it's discovery. John Thunert? Hello.
Your Honor, how are you? doing?
All right, how are you
Doing
doing?
very well, thank you.
Right, so where are we on discovery?
I think we do have all discovery, Judge. I'll make sure to double check on that. To give the court sort of a background on this one, it was this case has been re-indicted very recently, and so what I was going to ask the court for is a pre-deadline date on this one because I think the state's going to tender an offer on this one as we're conferring now. And so if I can convey that and then come back to the court with an update, that's what we can ask for.
All right, how much time do y'all want to tender an offer?
30 days is fine.
All right, could I have 30-day reset on Thunert, please?
March 27th.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Judge. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
so March 27th will be your plea deadline date. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court, but you always do.
Yes,
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day, ma'am.
You too. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court is calling 2024 CR 007292, State of Texas versus Angela Redwine. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Jason Gearhand, Your Honor.
defense?
John Coons for Miss Redwine.
And are you Miss Redwine? Did you understand you're charged by indictment with burglary of a habitation force? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is recommending community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2024 CR 5433. And there's to be restitution, if any, to Andrew Garcia. Did you understand that to be the plea? Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, no contact with Andrew Garcia, and parenting classes. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we would request that you follow the plea bargain agreement. And I know there's a TAP evaluation. My client has requested that that she begin her probation today, and she will report to any appointments that she needs to, but she would appreciate it if the court would consider allowing her to be released.
All right, so what was going on with you that day?
I was homeless. I didn't have nowhere to go, and I was really just trying to find somewhere
So, I mean, why does that result in you going into somebody else's
Went into
apartment?
the wrong apartment and it was some mishap.
So how often have you been using before you were taken into custody?
Using I had already been clean for like 6 months.
All right, so here's the thing. Now's the time for you to tell the truth. If you had been using in the past, it doesn't impact your probation because you were not on probation. So you need to be honest with me
No, I was.
because
clean.
I'm trying to figure out what conditions to give you.
No,
right?
I have been clean for 6 months.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. And I'm sorry, how many children do you have?
I have 5 children.
And what are their ages?
1, 20, 11, 7, and 3.
Wait, 21, 20,
Mhm.
11?
7, and I have a 3-year-old.
And where are the 11, 7, and 3-year-old?
Well, the 3-year-old is the one I had lost. I lost rights to him. He's with family, and the 11 and 7-year-old is with his sister-in-law.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's a $1,500 fine. That'll be probated.
Thank you, Judge.
Take in consideration 2024 CR 5433. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. 120 sober meetings and 120 days upon release. There's going to be a TAP evaluation and a referral to felony drug court in custody. Follow all recommendations. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. 100 of those hours will be deemed satisfied upon the completion of parenting classes. How far did you go in school?
To the 10th grade.
All right. The remaining 100 hours will be deemed satisfied upon obtaining your GED or any type of trade school. You understand? You can either better yourself or either they'll have you picking up trash along the highway. You understand?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home healthcare provider in the healthcare field or with minors. There's to be no contact with minors. I'll consider changing that once you've started your parenting classes. There's to be restitution, if any, and no contact with Andrew Garcia. And did you know anyone at that location, the apartment that you were seeking to stay in, anyone in that apartment complex? All right, there's to be no contact with the apartment complex located at 7323 Snowden Road. That's SNOWDEN Road. And it's 78240. All right, we can go off the record. To be successful in this court, especially when you have drug addictions, honesty is key. Your attorney will tell you if somebody calls probation in this court and say, I'm about to use, I have no control over my addictions, I need help, guess what? That 9 times out of 10, they're not going to file a motion to revoke and they're going to try to get you some help. But nobody can help you if you are dishonest and not being truthful. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on John Raymond Gill?
Scott Sullivan for Mr. Gill.
All right, where's Mr. Gill? All right, counsel, in this case, where are we on discovery?
So far I've gotten all the discovery from what I can.
All right, and state, were you able to tender an offer?
Yes, we did. And I would like the chance to address the board.
Yes.
Yes, my client has been in jail for 160 days. This is an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. We were discussing the plea this morning, but I'm getting some appropriate evidence that I need to look at with respect to whether or not he could plead to begin with. Your Honor.
Whether or not what?
Whether or not I should, it will change my mind about some things.
Okay.
Before I let him plead. And he said the same thing. What I'm requesting, Your Honor, is that with him being in 160 days, we would ask that the court give him a PR bond We didn't know what's gonna happen this morning, and like I said, 160 days, and this is a case that's holding him there. We would ask that the court consider conditions on PR.
All right, so did you follow motion, counsel?
No, I did not, and I can go home and follow that.
All right, and
Coming
he'll need
through
to,
the office, excuse me.
all right, thank you. And he'll need to be interviewed for a PR bond before I will grant a PR bond.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this Thursday for plea deadline date. All right, is there anything else?
We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'll file my motion this afternoon.
All right, thank you. Okay.